Hey everyone, just popping in to do my backlist readathon TBR. This is a readathon that is being hosted by a whole slew of people. I think there's like 6. I won't be able to remember them all. I know Jacqueline from Weeby Bookin' is one, Chandler Ainsley, I think Gabby from Gabby Reads, Zoe from Zoe Reads. There might be a couple other people that I'm forgetting, but it's backlist readathon. I'll link to some of the announcement videos in the description box and down below, but if you don't know, it's happening from March 9th through the 15th. And I'm just gonna give my TBR. It's sort of a tentative TBR. I'm generally not a person who's gonna do a lot of TBRs because I am very much a mood reader. My goal with this readathon is to read some books that I personally own. I'm kind of using backlist to mean my own backlist of books that I own because, like many of us, I own a lot of books and I don't read them. I read library books. I have a whole stack of like 10 or so library books over there that I need to read. So today we're drinking Stella Rosa wine. This is Stella Black. It's one of my absolute favorites. It literally tastes like juice. So if you like sweet wines, this is your go-to. It reminds me a lot of Roscato as well, if you like that one. This is a good one. I like all the Stella Rosas, but this is probably my favorite, which would be evident by the fact that I have 2 bottles in my fridge right now. The first prompt is to read the shortest book on your list, and that's going off page count as far as I could tell. So I am going to be reading A Study in Scarlet by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. It's a beautiful copy. These are the Penguin English Library copies, so they're paperback, which is my favorite. And the covers are just absolutely beautiful. And this is a Sherlock Holmes novel. It's one of the first ones. It may be the first one, but as you can see, it's quite short. Yeah, okay, so this has 135 pages in it, so that's gonna be my first one. And I've never read any of the Sherlock Holmes novels or mysteries or short stories, so I'm very excited. As a mystery person, I feel like I should read this. So the next prompt is most intimidating book. And for me, this could have gone a lot of ways. For me, one of the most intimidating books would be something like The Terror by Dan Simmons, or The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova, I believe is how you say it, or Les Miserables, or A Prayer for Owen Meany. These are books that I own, but they're quite long. And I was trying to avoid an incredibly long book because it's a readathon, and I have, what, 7 books? Six books? I have 6 books here that I want to read, so I was trying to pick something that wasn't super long. So I went with something that's still kind of long, but I chose The Shining by Stephen King. You can see I've already started it. I'm only about 50 pages in. I read this on an airplane when I was coming home from Christmas. I think I read it on like New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, and I haven't picked it up since then. And this is my next book in my Stephen King reading series. I'm trying to read them in order. I've read a couple of them, but I'm trying to read them in order of when they were released to really get a feel for the lore and understand all of his references. Of course, this book is almost 500 pages long, so we'll see if I get to it. I do have the audiobook, but we'll see. The next prompt on the list is a book someone else recommended, and for this prompt, I chose The Broken Girls by Simone St. James. You can still see my half-price book sticker there, but this book has been recommended to me by a bunch of people in various book clubs I'm in. I've seen it on YouTube. So I don't have a specific person who recommended this, but it's one I've been wanting to read. And she just came out with a new book called The Sundown Motel, which I've only heard good things about. So I want to read this just to be able to get through all her books. Those are the only 2 I know of. I don't know if she has anything else. Yeah, this one, well, okay, going back. The Shining, as we all know, is about this man and his wife and his son, and they go to a hotel, and they are the winter caretakers for the hotel, and like strange, weird, ghosty stuff starts happening, and it's like a descent into madness sort of thing. The Broken Girls is about a woman whose sister died at this school, and she's a journalist, and she's writing a story because however many years later the school is being restored. That's really all I know about it. The next prompt is book you're most excited about, and for that I chose Fantasticland by David Bockoven. This book I'm so excited about. I've been wanting to read it and I keep putting it off, and I'm just so excited to read it. This one is about an amusement park, and there are lots of people in the amusement park, and like I think it's just staff, and a hurricane hits, and so they get trapped in the amusement park, and they're trapped for like 40 days or something, and like all hell breaks loose. They start killing each other, and there's murders and all different sorts of things that happen in it, and I'm just really excited. I've been recommended this book so many times. This could have gone from most recommended to I've been recommending this book so many times, and I'm ready to read it. Okay, the next prompt is a diverse author or main character or diversity of some kind. I chose The Hunger by Alma Katsu. Alma Katsu is a woman of color. I'm not sure if any of the characters of the book are people of color. I know this is a horror novel that takes place during the Donner Party when they got stuck. I think it's in the Rocky Mountains as they're in the winter time, and then they end up eating each other, and there's cannibalism involved, and I think this has some sort of fantastical element, but I'm really excited to read this one. This also could have been on my most excited about book. I'm pretty much excited about all these books, so they really could have, you know, gone on into that one. And the last book is a book with blue on the cover, which I just love these prompts because I feel like it's so easy to fit a multitude of books into these prompts, and it allows you to read a book that maybe doesn't fit into the other prompts. And the book I chose for this one is The Cheerleaders by Kara Thomas. You can see the skirt on the front is blue, like a navy color. This is about, I believe it's like a school where the cheerleaders have been killed or are being killed, and it's just about that. It follows somebody who was at the school when the cheerleaders were dying, or the cheerleading club doesn't exist anymore, or something like that. It's YA horror, and I'm really trying to find some YA horror this year that I really like. I'm a big fan of like R.L. Stine and Christopher Pike and those types of older, like 80s, 90s horror, but I'm really looking for some new YA horror that I really like. So if you have any recommendations, feel free to leave them below. That's my TBR for the backlist readathon. Let me know what you're gonna read down in the comments, and I'll see you soon. Bye.